cuties, besties, and ghosties. This is Muertera. Welcome to my channel, Muertero. I'm so excited to have you here today. We are going to be doing a reading asking why your person has ghosted. So just to start off, I'm really sorry this happened to you. This is a horrible feeling and truly the rudest of the roots. So hopefully this reading can give you a little bit of clarity and comfort in this time. We are going to be doing a quick energy check so you can make sure that the pile you choose is really your pile and makes sense for you. If the energy check isn't really vibing, feel free to hop to a different pile, or I do have another ghosting reading as well. After we do the energy check, I'll dig around a little bit and see kind of where their head was at the time, but then we'll use tarot to dig into their thoughts and feelings about the connection, and then we'll wrap up with some channeled messages and a little bit of advice for you. So hopefully this is a comforting reading. I will mark any piles if there are any ones that are relatively heavy, but just from shuffling the oracles, that's all I've done so far. I'm not sure that that's going to be the case, so I'll let you know if that is. Otherwise, if you want to see more content like this or you enjoy the reading, please definitely like, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. If you have not done a pick a pile reading before, I'm going to have a section next where I'll talk about these crystals. And then play a singing bowl so you can have some time to kind of feel into the energy and pick your pile. And then we will get on into the readings. So if you're not going to stay with me for the pick a pile section, definitely click your timestamp down in the description. And if I don't see you there, then I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi friends. Okay. So we are going to dig into the piles. I actually have the same deck for every single pile. We're going to be using the Cute Ghost Tarot. This is my ghosting deck. I love it. I think it's adorable. So we're just going to go ahead and use it in every pile because it makes me happy. And I hope it makes you happy too. The first pile, we have this piece of, I'm pretty sure it's white tourmaline. White tourmaline. No, white jasper. What am I saying as usual? But it's a really calming stone. It has some like cream and white lines in it. Just really beautiful. And then we have a piece of Dalmatian jasper. So the stone is a really playful stone. Gets you in touch with your creative side, with kind of your childlike side. And then we have the actual piece of black tourmaline, not the white fake tourmaline. And this is a great stone for grounding, for clearing your energy. I used to wear it a lot for protection, just like a great all-around grounding stone. Okay, so these are your piles. Okay, friends, hopefully you've had enough time to pick your pile. So I will see you in your reading. Okay, bye. Hi cuties, hi pile one. If you chose this little piece of white jasper, then this is your reading. I'm going to move the tarot over for a second because we are going to dig into your oracles. I have a ton shuffled. I kind of went overboard maybe not. There's a lot though. So we're going to read in a person A and B format. Because of this type of reading, there may be a lot of mirroring going on across both sides. I didn't really dig into the energies too much when I was shuffling, but the mirror came out in like two different piles. I think it's out in this pile. So just a heads up. Typically I read with the person you're asking about on the left and you on the right. However, again, if there's a lot of mirroring, you might find yourself in both sides, or you might be pile one or like side one or side two. Okay, so for person A, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups reversed, and the Princess of Cups reversed. And I'm going to use the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot as cards to like describe you and your person, kind of like using oracles, but this deck is super descriptive, so I like it for this. For your central energy, we have the Creator, and then we have the Mirror reversed. And then for person B, we have Obatala reversed, which is the Four of Pentacles. We have Santero, which is the King of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the Five of Wands, which is Ogun La Flambeau. For person A, we have the Fire Mother, and then we have, what is this? Share Tenderness reversed for person B, and as central energy, we have I Want to Be More Than Friends. And then I also pulled a couple other intuitive oracles. So we have Tall Tales, Big Dick Energy, and then Burnt Toast. So the first thing I want to talk about, I don't know, I guess is this. Like, I feel like, and I'm going to arrange as I'm talking because this is crooked and kind of driving me a little bonkers, but I feel like there was definitely a lot of desire between you and your person. And I think that was mutual on both sides. I think like just sitting in this energy a bit, the first thing that kind of like jumps out to me is that the two of you, I mean, we have the mirror in the middle, but I think the two of you were mirroring a lot of unhealed wounds. And I think it was hard on both of you, to be perfectly honest, because the Creator is here. We also have like the Two of Pentacles over here, which is a Lofi and pregnant. We have a Fire Mother. Like, I feel like there was a lot of potential in this connection. But it never fully grounded. And let's talk a little bit about like the energies and how they're kind of distributed across the reading. I noticed this actually when I was shuffling out. Like, left side, we have we have an earth card, but this is like very kind of like watery energy. It feels very like divine feminine. Right side, we have all of these masculine cards, and there's some mirroring even when you look across. Like, if you look at this shields, this Ogun is kind of holding the shield like Olofi is holding the pregnant belly. There's titties out in both too. And then if you look at the Santero and the Princess of Cups, they're also standing in a very similar way, bent over, both cards are reversed. Like, there's a lot of mirroring going on in both sides. There's also this like interesting dichotomy with these two oracles as well, where the Fire Mother talks about almost like an overeager, destructive potential. Like, I don't want to say like an addiction, but almost like a feeling that like a phoenix, like you'll rise from the ashes. And I feel like in this pile, that might have skewed a little bit towards like, we can make it through anything no matter what, but it doesn't seem like that was like necessarily the case. It feels like almost like relentless optimism as opposed to reality for this person. And you kind of see this, like, we can talk about person A. I feel like I'm like rambling a little bit, so I'm trying to get a little bit more focus for you. But person A is in this, like, it feels like a very watery disposition, a very watery person. And a person who is in touch with their femininity and their emotions, but maybe doesn't express them in the way that is going to create happiness for themselves. We have this tall tales down here, and in combination with the fire mother, it kind of feels like this person, like, again, like relentless optimism. Like, this person kind of sees that they're like the hero of their own story and almost glosses over the negative aspects. I don't see it as like tall tales as in this person like outright lies or misdirects or like tells untruths. It more feels like they're almost lying to themselves and not being fully honest with the situation as it stands. Like, it just feels like they're kind of always in this Two of Pentacles creative potential space, or even through the ups and downs, when somebody might interpret something as like a down or a loss, they kind of only see the potential for the future. And so it almost feels like they're like a little bit stuck and kind of like go through this own cycle with themselves. And we have this energy kind of mirrored, I guess repeated in the middle, where we have the mirror facing the creator. And I don't feel like this mirror is like necessarily even reversed the way that it came out. I think that these are just two dichotomies of the connection, where there was a belief that like anything could happen here. But I think each of you held up a mirror to each other, and through that triggering, it just never was really able to get off the ground. There just seems to be like a lack of commitment to committing to a path for at least this person on this side. It's like I almost see this like this Two of Pentacles as like the Two of Wands in my mind, even though it's like not. But there just seems to be like a little bit of an unwillingness to really settle down or choose a path or learn enough from past mistakes to actually be able to fix what's not working. For person two feels very heavy and overwhelmed. And I feel like this is a person who has a great deal of responsibility. And I think part of the attraction to this other person was this person seems like a bit like more adventurous. And I think this person creates a lot of really like either has a like difficult job or a lot of responsibilities or overcommits. There seems to be like this very protective energy for person B. And I think that person A was like a little bit of a more free-spirited energy that was very attractive to this person. But I think they are two sides of the same coin, where person A feels ungrounded and like limitless potential. And person B feels like overcommitted and overburdened and isn't giving themselves a break or giving themselves enough time for joy or giving themselves enough leeway in their life to really make decisions that would bring them happiness but also bring them closure. And I think, this is one of the tougher cards in this deck. This is an Ogun who's been through battle and like lost limbs and understands what it's been to go through war. And then we also have shared tenderness reversed. And I think if you're person two, I think that you were looking for a lot of this tenderness in this other person. If you're not, this person was looking for it in you, like not realizing that they really needed to give it to themselves, or you need to give it to yourself first. We have burnt toast down here too, and burnt toast to me is like, it's kind of like this like double-sided energy. Like, it's kind of like you can't cry about spilled milk, like it's burnt toast. Put another slice in the toaster, scrape off the burnt part. But it's also like a card that sometimes can have some bitterness to it, like a little bit of acidity. And if this is you, I feel like you're really struggling to find joy. So this was your energy check. I'm going to maybe talk a little bit more about this, but probably move on to tarot. So if this doesn't seem like you or your person or your pile, this is a heads up to pick a different pile or head to a different reading. But if this is sounding like you, let's hang. I think I'm going to move on to tarot. But I do want to emphasize especially that like there is a lot of attraction here. And I think the attractive force like really is person one. Person one was attracted to person two's like industriousness and ability to like turn hard work into like actual something like in the actual physical world. And I think pile two's attraction to pile one was that they are a little bit more unbound and free-spirited, but it's not in a balanced way. Like I think, because the divide was really divine masculine and divine feminine energies, and we're talking about energies here, we're not talking about like types of connections. Like I try not to get into that because I think at the end of the day, outcome doesn't really matter. It's about the journey and it's about what we learn. And I think from this connection, what you're really supposed to learn is how to embody the energy that you were seeking in the other person. So if you were pile two and you're pile two, side two, person B, and I know I keep going back and forth with this, but if you're person B and you're asking about person A, Spirit is telling you like there's a lot of joy in your life and you really have to open up your eyes and see it. You can be more carefree. You can like let go of your burdens. You can embody that energy. And if you align more with person A and you're asking about person B, it's the opposite. Like, you need to make decisions and stick with them. You also have that creative energy. Like, you both have creative energies to manifest these things in your life. But if you're person A, it's going to take commitment. And the creative potential doesn't go on forever. At some point, you have to make a decision. You have to start working towards a goal. you have to guide your life in a certain direction, and you have to make a choice. And sometimes choices do come at the cost of, like, it's a sacrifice where you're sacrificing the fact that you can't take every single path. And that's okay. That's what life is about. Life is about choices. Okay. Enough of that. Sorry, friends. I feel like I just didn't really get that point across, like, enough with the oracles. So let's ask Spirit. We're gonna do thoughts, and then we're gonna do feelings on the bottom for your person. So Spirit, what are Pile 1's person's thoughts about this connection? Okay, we have the Sun. We have the Six of Cups reversed. We have the Eight of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups reversed, and then we have the Ace of Coins. And then we will do feelings on the bottom. Spirit, what are Pile 1's person's feelings? Okay, we have the Ace of Sticks, or the Ace of Wands reversed. We have the Seven of Swords, Justice reversed. Six of Blades reversed. And the Queen of Wands reversed. And then back of the deck energy is the Hermit. Okay. So first off, before we really get into anything, I want to talk about these central cards. So we have the Eight of Cups as thoughts and Justice as feelings, Justice reversed. And I feel like there's a decent degree of feeling like this was unfair. But it was a necessary choice. I think there is regret from this person in the way that this shook out and what happened. I think at the time they did the best that they could, but there's some guilt here. Like, in their feelings, we have the Seven of Swords. And their thoughts are really, like, in the past. I think they kind of snuck away with their feelings without really expressing them and telling you how much you meant to them. And when I look at this, like, Ace of Sticks, I feel some deep shame here. Like this person knows that they snuffed something out. And in their thoughts, they're trying to block it out and pretend like this was the best for both of you. But that's not necessarily how they feel about this situation. Like, most of these cards are reversed. I think they are repressing their feelings to a good extent. If it's person 1 you're asking about, I do think they lie to themselves a good amount about what they're actually feeling and kind of trick themselves into being happy and having this, like, this happy exterior. And it's kind of like on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. But that's catching up with them. And they're really, like, not able to move on in the same way that they normally do. Like, this has really forced them to go within. If you're asking about person 2, I mean, the energies are so mirrored in this file that you might like, you might feel like some of these things are you and some of these things are the other person. If you're asking about person B, this person is feeling really, really overburdened by the expectations that, I want to say, a combination of what they've put on themselves or like what their family has put on them. Like, I get a lot of pressure from that side. And I don't think that that person is like necessarily the sunniest person in the world. But I think there is like a person B puts on a very brave front and puts a lot of pressure on themselves to be kind of like that provider energy, that stable, stoic person. And it's interesting because there's like a lot of, there's a good amount of cups in the thought section, no swords. And there's a lot of swords in the feeling section and no cups. And so for me, this seems like both of these people really struggle to process their thoughts and emotions. I feel like person A has kind of like an overextension of their feelings. They're very kind of like whimsical and kind of go back and forth. Person B, much more like thought-driven, logical, really struggles with sitting in their emotional body. And I think whoever you're asking about really is like struggling with emotional optimism right now. And they're kind of deep in their thoughts in the past. And I think it's deep in their thoughts in the past about not only this connection, but also previous connections. And they're kind of feeling like we have the 9 of coins and the Ace of coins together. And together that's the 10 of coins. Like that's kind of like end game. That's building your dynasty. That's family. That's generational wealth. But it feels like this person is kind of like looking to the past and just like very worried. And I think they also feel to a certain extent like the situation is unfair, but their karma is also catching up to them as well. Because there's just a bit of avoidance in this energy and a refusal to really sit in the reality of their actions and the implications that that has for them. Like, the implication is that they're not good right now. And I think they're being forced, like the scales are balancing. We have Hermit as, the central energy, the bottom deck energy. They're being forced to go within, and it's shining a light on this imbalance between their emotional body and their thought body. And it's really speaking to them about their decisions in the past, about how they dealt with other people, how they dealt with other relationships. Like, this is not necessarily something that just happens between the two of you. Like, this person kind of has a history of it, of chasing things and not really following through. And so Spirit is saying, if, like this is a reading about why they ghosted. They have imbalances, and they keep on meeting people who highlight these imbalances to them, and they're not quite grasping that the reason why things aren't working out is not something external, it's something internal. And they've been running from that conversation with themselves because your connection really held up that mirror for them. I do think that they are finally being forced to actually look at this, but energy and whether or not they actually are going to follow through with that, very different things. I don't see a lot of like real action in these cards. I feel like more like the universe is like literally putting them on timeout and being like, yo, figure it out. Like, we've been through this before. You have enough information from your past connections to look back and be like, oh, like, I seem to be the central figure in all of this. Like, maybe it's got something to do with me. Okay. We are going to move on to pulling some channeled messages from this person. Okay, Spirit. What would lovely pile one's person say to them if they could be absolutely honest? Okay, let's go. You are so special to me. The depth of my feelings scare me. Yup. I lied. That's the tall tales. You were the only one who understands me. And to be fair, like, I don't see this like I lied as, again, like, I don't get the vibes that this person is like actively trying to mislead you or actively did. Like, I think they are lying to themselves and therefore lied to you as well. Like, their misrepresentation of themselves was also a misrepresentation to themselves because they really can't face the truth of it. And I think, again, you are like really like two sides to the same coin. I don't know who to pick. I mean, I didn't get a like strong third party feeling from this pile. It actually like felt like pretty distant. So I don't know if there's a different decision too. Like, we have the 8 of Cups here and the 7, like we do have the 7 of Swords. But I feel like this is more like the confusing energy of, if it's person A, they don't know what to pick in general at all. Like, they've been weighing 2 options for like all of time and can't commit to anything. If it's person B, it seems like they have so much pressure and burdens from external things that like they don't know how to unburden themselves and pick something different. Like, I get that kind of like again, struggling with the same thing on both sides. I just want to be friends, which is lols. Because wasn't your oracle, I want more to be friend? I want to be more than friends? Yeah. Like, and that's funny that like it came under I lied. So maybe for some of you, if they told you they just wanted to be friends, like, and in your heart, you're like, really, bro? Like, no, that is not where we were going with this. this might be your confirmation that like, hey, like this is, your intuition's on point there. I feel like all these cards are crooked. Is my camera just crooked today? I don't know, friends. Sorry for that brief interruption by my small bit of anxiety. And then we have I feel trapped. And yeah, that's the Hermit energy. Like they're literally being stopped from going to where they want, because neither person is really able to decide what's going to make them happy and kind of take action on that. Okay. We're going to wrap up with a couple pieces of advice for you. Okay. Spirit, what pieces of advice do you have for our pile ones? Okay, we have count your blessings and power of sisterhood. So I think Spirit really wants you to honestly like think about the bright side of things. Like I'm getting kind of strong vibes that like most of you maybe pile two. I mean, I kind of have through the reading, but I think there is a mix here. Like, there are a lot of good things that you can look at in your life. And sometimes that means being really realistic with yourself. And I think also taking feedback from people can help you through that. So whether that's like leaning on the power of relationships right now to kind of get through this ghosting business and get to a happy, healthy state, or whether that's reaching out to somebody that you really trust and is a blessing in your life and asking them like, hey, I've been really struggling with this and I'm not sure which direction I need to go, but I know that what I've been doing isn't working. Because I think there's energy like that on both sides. Like that is an energy that's kind of throughout this reading, is that like there's a bit of imbalance in both sides. And honestly, just, I also kind of get the vibe that like you're not really ready to put yourself back out there. And maybe that's not right for everybody. But I almost feel like there's a hesitancy to open yourself up again. And I think that's okay. Like, I think it's okay to just lean on friendships right now and just be grateful for what you have and just not seek for a little bit. Like, what you're looking for will find you. So just do you. Have some freaking fun. Let your hair down. Get out there. Don't work so hard. Try to make good decisions. And you're going to be fine. Okay, friends, this is all I have for you today. Hopefully this was helpful. I feel like there was so much mirroring in this file that like I got a little lost in where one person started and the other began. So I would imagine that this has been very confusing for you and a very intense connection because of just this kind of mirrored energy, and probably pretty triggering. So take care of yourself. I hope this brought some comfort. If you liked this reading, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. And I hope you protect your little heart and come see me again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile Twos. If you pick this little piece of Dalmatian Jasper, this is your reading. I'm going to move the tarot off to the side for a second, and we are going to grab oracles. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read in a person A and B format. Typically, I read person A as the person you're asking about and B as you. The last pile was a little bit confusing because there was so much mirroring going on, and I felt like there may be like there was kind of a mix. So I'll let you know if I'm feeling that. But um, person A, we have secret societies in reverse, the Eight of Cups, and then T-Bonange. So that's temperance and I believe justice. And then central energies, we have the threshold, the starborn, and the vessel. And for person B, we have Ayizen, which is the Empress. We have Hunsis reversed, which is the Princess of Swords, and Carnival, the World reversed. We have what is hidden will be revealed. My life is not together as it seems. I knew exactly what I was doing, and the gallery of those who came before, clarified by repopulation. And then we have treading water and emotional double duty. So right off the bat, I do feel like there's a lot of kind of pressure like coming from this left side. I feel like this person like is struggling to find, or is or was struggling to find balance in their life. And maybe direction as well. There seems to be like this interesting tug and kind of like push and pull between the way this person presents themselves to the world and how they actually feel inside. Like, I feel like they want to kind of present as more of like a temperance energy, like they got their shit together. But inside is quite a different story. Like, I'm getting from here, like, this is a card about initiation and trust. I feel like there is like, they feel like inside they're like, I just keep on hearing like thrown to the wolves. And then we have treading water, and my life is not together as it seems. Like, what is on the outside for this person, the vessel, like their container, isn't really showing who they truly are. And I feel like there's almost like a rejection of themselves with this starborn reversed, and then the threshold being there. I feel like because it's like almost like tipped towards pile B, and honestly after like sitting this for 2 seconds, I do feel like most of you are pile B and you're asking about pile 1. I feel like the threshold is there because like the opportunity to take a step was there, and like you're at the threshold ready saying, hey, all you got to do is like step over this with me. And they're just kind of in the abyss. Like they don't even feel like they're facing the abyss. They just like feel like they're like completely in the abyss. And these 2 cards came out like my life is not together as it seems, and I knew exactly what I was doing. I do feel like from your end, like you were ready to kind of like offer a cup of love, but I don't think this person, their internal world isn't in a state where they could actually accept it. It's almost like you're offering this cup of love, and this person is like holding out a hand with a like lock on it, but not willing to give the key as well. Like they're holding on to the key too. And I think for you, like, it seems like you are in an Empress energy where you kind of want this like next phase of your life. Like, you have the world reversed here. Like there's this desire for completion, and I feel like to meet your partner, to move on to the next step, to kind of like do the next things in life. But I think for this person, with their unwillingness to really like accept love and their inability to reciprocate right now, I don't want to like make a claim about that for their person in general. I just feel like this person has so much internal turmoil going on that they're truly unable to open that lock. And for you, like I think it was hard to recognize like look at this repopulation. There's like a regular apple and this like chewed up apple, and it feels like you thought you were like finding an apple to match your apple, and that's what it seemed like from the outside. And you're kind of reaching out with his hands, and they have a fist closed with a chewed up apple. And I'm not saying they're a chewed up apple, but they just don't have anything to offer right now. They're kind of empty. And again, like not as a person, but I think they're really struggling to figure out like their vessel, like who they are, what they want, what to fill it with. And then we also have the gallery of those who came before. And with the Princess of Swords here, like I wonder if you kind of like had an inkling that this wasn't necessarily like a balanced connection where this person could reciprocate in the way that you were looking for. Because for me, this card is really about like looking at things that have happened to you before and not necessarily trying to dwell on them, but trying to do something different. And for some of you, I do feel like at some point, like you became aware of the fact that you were pulling emotional double duty, or this wasn't a situation where this person could fully offer you what you were looking for. And you either gave like an ultimatum or had a conversation or said something about it, and this person just was so overwhelmed that they did not actually give you the answer you deserved, or just kind of ghosted. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Okay, so this is your energy check. If this sounds like you, let's move on to tarot. If not, definitely pick a different pile or a different reading if you feel so called. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we are going to ask about their thoughts and then their feelings and dig into why they ghosted. Okay, Spirit, can you please tell us why our beautiful pile 2's person ghosted? What are they thinking? Their thoughts. Ooh. to take these top ones that came out, and then we're going to put these ones back in. Okay, Spirit, what about their feelings? Okay, Spirit, how did... Okay, sideways. Reversed. Okay, Spirit. We have the Queen of Wands reversed. And then for thoughts, all those cards that came out were the Five of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Cups. And then for feelings, we just got the Six of Pentacles. Whoa, oh my gosh, okay. That was also a lot of cards, Spirit. What's going on? I feel like this person did not get to express everything that they wanted to. And like, there's just like a lot of pressure from that side. Like, and I think I'm going to take this one. Okay, and these ones too, I guess. There's just like a lot of going on, a lot of stuff going on in this person's brain. And with these first two cards that came out, it was just like, like all I heard was just like external factors. Like this person is between a rock and a hard place, and it truly did not have anything to do with you. This person is feeling so much external pressure. And they are, to a certain extent, like really avoiding thinking about it. I think they avoided making a decision with your connection as well, because like it really feels like kind of like analysis paralysis for this person. We have the Nine of Wands. It feels like there's like nothing more that they would want to do than accept a cup of love right now. But they also know that they're just not in a place where they can actually be present and do it. This kind of like sounds a little bit more emotionally mature than I think they actually are. I don't think that their decision making was as mature as that. Like obviously not ghosting would have been much more mature. And my spirits are saying less of a dickish move, and I believe that is true. But I just don't think this person necessarily has that emotional maturity yet. And I think one of the reasons why they are not progressing emotionally and maturing emotionally as much as they need to is because of this external pressure and how much is going on in their life. It's like, what is that, Maslow's like hierarchy of needs, where spiritual development and progress is at the top. Like if you are just barely getting by, struggling day by day, you're never really going to think about your higher needs. You're really like, how do I get food on the table? How do I get everything done that I need to? Like, I feel like maybe for some of you, this person is working multiple jobs and going to school, or has like a really tumultuous family life. I feel like a lot of this pressure is like coming from family. Then with their feelings, we have the Queen of Wands reversed and the Six of Coins, the Ace of Blades. Yeah. I feel like this person like just cut their emotions off like clean. Like I'm hearing Marina and the Diamonds, Emotional Machine. Like ever since I was a teen, cut my feelings off clean. And I feel like this person like might, this Queen of Wands is giving me kind of like controlling mother, or like really like critical mother vibes, especially under the Five of Sticks. And it really feels like this person, like they feel kind of young, like I don't know, and maybe that's just the emotional maturity piece. um, I feel like there was either like an early girlfriend or a mother who was just very, very controlling. Um, and it's led to kind of like an imbalance in their feelings. And really feeling like they need to lead with logic, and they can't really open themselves up to their emotions. And I think there's a lot of fear here too. Like fear into taking a step, fear into making the wrong decision, and probably like a pretty good degree of perfectionism. And I think it's interesting that we have the King of Coins reversed here and the Queen of Wands reversed. Like, again, kind of like playing into like maybe like a set of parents um, that were very demanding, kind of in their own ways. Um, and I think it's been really difficult for this person to really like balance out their wants and needs and the wants and needs of the people who are like putting expectations on them. Like, if we're gonna follow this like cup of love motif, like I feel like this balance, they're trying to balance these demands from these two people. Um, and it's impossible because they're not really following their own heart and their own intuition. Like, this does feel like there's a good degree of external influence. And it seems like influence from both like masculine and feminine energies. Like, that's why parents are kind of coming up, but it could be like pressures from work as well. Like a really demanding boss, um, or like societal pressures. There's just so much pressure. Like, so much pressure on this person. They seem very, very tired and just very out of balance. And I think like the biggest thing for them is that they need to figure out who they are, like, and really embrace their kind of weirdness. Like, we have the Starborn, and I feel like they're not bold enough yet to kind of step into their own feelings, step into their own power, but like own person. Um, I think this is a person who allows the opinions and thoughts of other people to influence their decisions, and I think it keeps them from making decisions that would actually make them happy. That's what I'm really getting from them. Yeah, I think this is pretty cut and dry. Like, I think they ghosted because they're just truly overwhelmed and frankly kind of avoiding love. Let's grab some channeled messages from this person. Spirit, what can you tell us? What would Pile Two's person say if they could be completely honest? What would Pile Two's person say to Pile Two if they could be completely honest? Okay. I have so much more to offer. I don't want to change. This person has a fear of, like, I don't think that's change. I think that's like Well, I guess it is change. Like they're afraid to let anybody in and actually sit with their emotions. And yeah, I feel confused. Yeah, that's the kind of balancing act between like other people's wants and needs. Um, I want to show you the real me. You are the most beautiful person, and you have changed me for the better. Okay, this one. And seeing you happy makes me smile. Oh, I thought I needed to pull one more card. I mean, this person recognizes that you have offered them something that they can't reciprocate on some level. They did not deal with it maturely, but you're important to them. And I know that's like not the easiest thing to hear when somebody's ghosted you. Like that really sucks, and I'm really sorry this happened to you. I think Spirit just wants you to know that like you're a very precious person. You are precious to this person, and it is nothing about you that you've been ghosted. This is truly about this person's struggle to accept themselves as who they are, as opposed to who people around them think they should be. And they're putting so much pressure on themselves to be able to meet those expectations. And they're sacrificing things that could potentially make them happy because they have a very skewed view of the world and of themselves, because it's not really them. And like, I don't think they understand who the real me is. Like, they want to show you it, but they're worried about what other people want them to do as opposed to like who they are inside. And I think that's the biggest blocker here. So Spirit, do you have any advice? Of course you have advice. Can we have some advice for pile 2, please? Okay, those came out pretty quick. We got a lot of advice. Okay, Lilith, reclaim your power. Full moon, harvest the fruits of your hard work. And moonflower, bloom even if no one is watching. So I think these are lovely cards to get, honestly. It's kind of interesting too, like, where's that temperance card? Oh my god, it's like under all of these cards. Like, this is giving me this temperance vibes with these two eyes. I don't know if you can see this. The gold leaf on this card is like so hard to see sometimes. But we have this eye there as well. And I feel like this is Spirit saying, like, even if it feels like you are not being seen, because we have this eye, and then we also have this bloom, even if no one's watching. Like, Spirit is so proud of you. I feel like you have been doing work as well. And I know that it really sucks to like have a lot of hope in a situation and get knocked down. But especially like if you were the person who said like, hey, like, I need more, and you were ghosted because of that, Spirit is really proud of you. And like, it doesn't matter that this person didn't accept your cup of love. Like, the right person is going to accept it and dump their own cup into it and overflow it, you know? You are blooming. You're a beautiful person. Even this person recognizes how special and how beautiful you are. And Spirit just wants you to remember that. And if this person doesn't accept that cup, that's okay. There's going to be somebody who sees you. And you are seen. They're just really proud of you. And they want you to be a badass and like keep your head high and keep moving forward and know that you have spirit at your back and you're going to find the right one. And it's going to be because of your hard work. And the more that you tell the universe what you want, tell people what you want, like weed these, pardon my French, but like weed these motherfuckers out is what I'm hearing. Like, don't do emotional double duty for them. Like, don't try to make up for the fact that somebody's not giving 100%. Like, your 120% is never going to make up for the fact that they're only giving 50%. And once you find somebody who can give you 100%, like, that's when the real magic happens. And eventually that will happen. But the quicker you can identify the ones who are not going to give you 100%, the quicker you can take back your time, your love, your emotion, protect yourself, and move on to the next. So that's what I have for you today. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for bringing your energy today. I'm so sorry that this happened. I hope this brought you a little bit of comfort. If you resonated with the reading, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. But above all, thank you for spending your time here. And I hope you protect your little heart out there. Remember, you're a badass. Don't settle for less. And I hope you come and visit me again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Palo 3s. If you pick this little piece of black tourmaline, then this is your reading. We're going to put the tarot off to the side for a second and dig into your oracles. Your oracles are definitely kind of like special snowflake pile because they just came out in a different way and I rolled with it and took it. We'll get into it. So it's a same kind of like, we're going to read person A and person B. Person A is typically how I read for who you're asking about. Person B will be you. This will be your energy check to check if it's your pile. You might find that energy is mirrored. This pile, as well as the first pile, I believe, had a lot of mirroring energy. Oop. And we need a little candle too. So just keep that in mind. Like, you may find yourself in both sides. This one had particularly heavy mirrored energy, as I recall. But let's get this lit up and then we can get started. Okay, feeling better already. So for person A, we have the Destroyer, clarified by the Orphan. For central energy, we have the Nine of Cups, and we have the Magic Mirror, which is the Moon, and Loco, which is, what is that, Will? Oh no, I think I have to look that card up. It's not the Magician. Oh, it's the Emperor. There we go. I was like, why am I forgetting this? That's the Emperor in this deck. On the right, we have the Storm and the Eternal Child. It was really weird. Like, so I used these archetype cards as the central energy for the other piles, and I shuffled them first for this pile. And they came out literally in like two stacked chunks like this, and the energy is so mirrored across them. I was like, this could not be the central energy. This is definitely the energy of the side. So I rolled with it. It felt right. I got little tingles when I did it, you know. Okay, and then on the left, we have Everything You Need Too Soon. And on the right, we have Calm Within Transformation. And then we have I'm Grateful for the Spiritual Lesson. And on the bottom, we have a bunch of these intuitive cards. So we have Peas and Carrots, Sins of the Father, Gentle Heart, and Fool's Gold. So the first thing that like really jumped out to me about this pile when I shuffled it. Like, number one, the intense amount of mirroring between the two. But there's also Loco, the Emperor, and it's almost like the Emperor in this card, it's like focused will, and it feels like it's like piercing a veil. Um, I think that the both of you really woke up energies within each other that neither of you were prepared for. And we have right here, like, I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson, if we needed more confirmation of that. But like, let's talk about person one first, I guess, and then we can talk about you. Like, I feel like you brought a lot of color into this person's life. Like, both of these cards, the Destroyer and the Orphan, are extremely dark cards. And the Storm and the Eternal Child both have light in them, although, like, in color. We have the Storm and the Destroyer, like, two destructive energies as kind of like underlying energies, and then we have the Orphan and the Eternal Child, like two cards that reference children. One is a little bit brighter and more optimistic than the other. What really kind of speaks to me, though, is I don't think y'all are children, number one. Like, I think these are cards that are really describing your inner children. And I think this orphan person has a deep, deep, deep fear of beautiful things in their life being destroyed. Like, we have this like flower that's kind of falling out of the orphan's hands, and we have everything you need too soon. And everything you need too soon talks about being in a space of lack and being almost unable to accept the good things that are happening in your life. And I feel like this person, while they recognize that you were a match to them, they also could not really bear it. Like, they were not healed enough within to feel safe in order to let somebody in. And we have Sins of the Father down here, which just kind of like further emphasizes this for me, and Peas and Carrots, which is one of my favorites. You know, like, we go together like peas and carrots. If you've seen Forrest Gump, you'll get that reference. But I think they recognize that, like, you are a lot of alike, and I think that drew you two together. But while you have calm within transformation, like, there's snakes here, but like your flame is kind of chilling. You have this like flame within the Eternal Child almost. Like, I think this person became consumed when they were faced with, honestly, like, the damage that's happened to them. And I think this connection really brought that out for them. We have the Nine of Cups in the middle, and that kind of like further emphasizes the fact that, like, this is everything this person needed and wanted, but too soon. It held up a mirror to all of the saddest and hurtful and brutal parts of themselves and of the things that they've gone through that they just were not able to face. And it's kind of interesting that the cards came out this way. Like, normally I would have arranged them like something like this with the Emperor on the bottom, but it didn't feel right. I feel like this person in particular was very triggered by the mirroring. And that's not to say that you weren't either, but I think you retained your optimism and kind of rolled with the punches and were like, okay, well, eventually the storm ends. But for this person, They were like, no, 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 like this storm doesn't end, it just destroys it for good. And I don't think that they were able to really ever like sit enough in um, like sit comfortably enough within themselves, like holding all of themselves as kind of like how do I describe this? I'm getting like like they couldn't create the safety within themselves that would allow them to let you in. Is what I'm trying to get out like really poorly. And I think your optimism, like I think you're both very, very gentle souls. I really do. I just think that you, for whatever reason, like you have this optimism in you that allows you to roll with the punches a bit more than this person does. Like they don't seem like they have the same type of optimism as you do. They kind of see like they see in black and white and like totalities. Um, and I think you really like cracked this person open in a way that they just were not prepared for yet. But I think that crack is still there. And for you, you may have kind of cracked this piece open for yourself and you've been able to kind of transform. And I'm looking at this Fool's Gold card and like I think that speaks to your optimism, but I think that also speaks to the fact that like you can kind of incorporate losses into your life. Like if you're chasing a piece of gold and you feel like it didn't work out or it wasn't what you thought it was, like maybe it didn't have the value or the staying power that you thought it was, like I feel like yeah, that's going to hurt you a lot, but you know that that storm is going to pass and you're going to let it kind of crack you open in a way so you can learn. I think this person like peas and carrots, you know, peas and carrots like for me is also like we go together like peas and carrots were the perfect match. And when you have that like that view of kind of perfection and already deciding that like this is what needs to happen, then if it doesn't happen or it happens in a different way, you get really hurt. You don't have that optimism. You don't have the ability to say, okay, well, this didn't happen in the way I expected or what I wanted, but that doesn't mean that something better isn't going to happen. And I feel like this person is like really struggles with losses and with seeing the good in their life. I think that there is a lot of good in this person's life, but maybe it takes a form that they don't necessarily expect, or isn't within that very narrow window of what they think is what it should look like. And I think it causes a lot of pain for this person. Yeah, it's very interesting energy because it's so mirrored, but I feel like the way that you both have kind of transmuted the energy and dealt with it is very, very different. Like you seem like you're kind of bouncing back and this person feels like they've like collapsed inward almost. And they're just kind of hiding. I'm kind of curious to like what actually went on here, but I guess it's not like the question I'm asking for this reading. So, okay, this is your energy check. If this sounds like you, pile 3, then let's get into tarot. If it doesn't, we have 2 other piles. If you feel like there was a lot of mirroring, you might want to check out pile 1 in your connection. If you don't feel that that was the case, maybe pile 2. But I'm not going to give anything way more about it than that, because I think I did say that right when we got started anyway. So, okay. My pile threes. Let's get into the little ghosty tarot. So we're going to ask about their thoughts and their feelings. Spirit, what are pile three's person's thoughts and feelings? Why did they ghost? Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. So I see that as like sneakiness, but also like next to strength is kind of like protectiveness. Protecting their heart. And we have the Seven of Wands. So also like very like protective energy. This person is not really willing, able to let anyone in. Okay, I'm not taking those. Too many. And I feel like they've put like this divide in between the two of you. Recognizing that you're both very, very alike. Like these two little balls of flames, like they recognize that you're peas and carrots. We have the Two of Cups in reverse here too. But there's just this like this absolute defensiveness of themselves. Like they're holding on to this heart, and in this deck, strength is clutching a broken heart. It's not clutching a lion, a tiger, a lion. But I think it's a lion. It looks so weird in like the Rider Waite. Anyway, but this person is really focusing on their heartbreak more than like the potential of this connection. And maybe something went down here too that I think this message might be for some of you, not all. But if there was an argument or like something went down in this connection, I feel like this person does not feel secure enough in themselves to open up the potential to get themselves hurt again. Because for me, like having these like two cups and two flames like right next to each other, that shows that there's a lot of desire, but I think it's being overruled by this person's fear and defensiveness. Like they feel like they've been abandoned or they're alone. And I don't think that's like just necessarily by you. I think this person was abandoned early on. And they've kind of like repeated that pattern for themselves because they haven't healed that within themselves. Okay, Spirit, can we ask about pile three's person's feelings? We have the Devil. So I would like hazard a guess that they are avoiding sitting in their feelings as much as possible. Okay, we got a bunch of cards. We have the Ace of Coins, the Four of Coins, the Ace of Cups reversed underneath the Ace of Wands reversed, which is kind of interesting. And then we have the Page of Swords and the Nine of Swords. And then bottom deck energy is the Page of Wands reversed. So this person is feeling very self-protective of their heart again. I think they're focusing more on material opportunities right now than actual like connections with anyone. I do feel like they want to say something, but they are very, very overwhelmed and so protective that they just like spin with those thoughts in their head, and there's no ability to express them. It's like they keep on pouring their heart out to themselves, but they don't feel like they can like take a step forward or really move on. They're just kind of stuck. Like this feels like a lot of really stuck energy. Yeah, I don't really see any cards here that like point to releases besides the devil either. And I feel like this person is leaning on like really unhealthy coping mechanisms to deal with this. And again, this kind of like speaks back to the fact that like they're really hard on themselves, and they don't have a lot of they don't have the ability to be flexible enough to understand that sometimes we get things in a different package than what we expect or what we wanted, but it ends up being even better than we had asked for. Um, and I think this person is really kind of compensating for that heartbreak in unhealthy ways. Like, I mean, it could be like traditional ways of like drinking and things like that, but like with the four of coins here and the ace of coins, like I also wonder if this person like could potentially have a little bit of like hoarding issues. And I don't want to call it hoarding, um like for example, like if they grew up in a house that like didn't have enough food, like maybe they feel like they need to have like a completely stocked pantry to feel safe. Like I feel like there's just this person feels very, very, very unsafe, um, especially when it comes to their emotions. And I think this comes out in different ways for them. Um, Maybe like their safety also is focused around like a very like solid foundation, and money is really important to them, um, because it forms like some type of security that they can hold on to because they don't feel secure in themselves. It's not like a it's not an insecurity like, I mean, they might not be the securest person about their personality, but it seems like they have suffered some losses in their life that lead them to make choices that make them feel comfortable because they really need that comfort. But it's not like, I don't know, I don't get the traditional like view from the devil. I feel like it's almost like it's almost deeper, like this person just has like these underlying habits or quirks, and maybe other people don't really like see. They're just like, oh well, you have like 20 boxes of Kraft mac and cheese, like do you really need that? That you can go to the store at any time. And this person's like, I need that. And it's almost like a like comfort blanket. um but I do like, on a more positive note, I feel like this person feels like they might not be considering like opening up necessarily to you. I'm gonna be honest, because we have the page of sticks reversed here. Like there doesn't seem like forward facing energy, but this card is just giving me like I need to let go of my burdens. I need to put this sword down. Like this, like the page of blades and the nine of blades, like take those blades, that's the 10 of swords. Like that's a release. I think this person is looking for different coping mechanisms than what's going on down here to deal with their emotions, because they realize that like this is causing a clusterfuck in the rest of their life. And they seem to be really like thinking about how their decisions and the resistance in their life are impacting their ability to like be in a good solid connection with somebody. And I'm getting like almost like therapy vibes from this person, like they might be at the point where they're just like, shit, like so much stuff is going on in my life and I have no idea how to deal with it and I need some help. But I feel like they're close to like reaching out for help and kind of like unburdening themselves, whether that's from like a therapist or a friend or someone they trust. Like I feel like this person is just kind of like at their limit right now. But again, like this seems like a spiritual connection, and while you seem to be moving along, I think it's taking this person a lot longer to really deal with it. And they have the added guilt of the fact that they ghosted. Like, I think that this connection is very meaningful to this person, and I want you to know that. Like, I mean, they feel like they've lost their Two of Cups, is what I'm feeling. Like this kind of match. And they're just like absolutely distraught over it. But they've just got so much going on in their life and in their internal self that I think it's like impossible for them to even think about like getting to fixing that part. But when they feel about it and they're in their feelings, they're like, I gotta let this out. Like I gotta figure this out. I can't just like stress and worry and be upset about this forever. Like something has to change. So that's really what I'm getting from them. Okay, let's grab some channeled messages. Okay. Spirit, what would pile three's person like to say to them? Oop. Okay, that's like, well, take that one. I need to find myself. Yeah. You inspire me to be better. I think this person can see like you're so much alike, but like you have such better coping mechanisms than they do. And I think that's something that they really admire about you. I'm working on being deserving of your love. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, there's a lot of care and a lot of admiration, like between the two of you. Like this person like recognizes you on a soul level. The distance is killing me. I betrayed you. And I lied. And that could be like the Seven of Swords and the Devil energy. I mean, look, like this, there's going to be a range of people in this reading. You might have something here with like substance abuse or cheating. Like there's this giant sex tag right here. It's very interesting though, like I feel like the top of these are like more inspiring and they're kind of like more focused on you, or like I need to find myself, like this person kind of looking at you and finding inspiration and really wanting to change the way of their being. But then this bottom is like very, very negative, like this is killing me, I betrayed you, I lied. And I feel like this is like also like demonstrative of like the difference between how this person looks at you and the way that like you're able to more gracefully move through these energies, and how this person is so freaking hard on themselves. And maybe they did some shitty stuff, like honestly. That's coming from a place of of rejection of self, or of feeling like nothing good is ever going to happen, so why try? It's kind of like that energy. It's really sad. But I think you are a light for this person. You're like a beacon or a demonstration that says like, I can do this differently. Like this doesn't have to be the way that it always is. I'm gonna grab one more. I guess two more. I'm not happy with ending with I lied. Three more? Okay. I feel broken inside. I can't pretend anymore. And I wanted something easy. Okay, so we got pretty heavy energies too. So, yeah. I mean, look, this person is going on their own journey, and they need to go inwards in order to fix whatever is holding them back in their life. And I think this is just like spirit further emphasizing that this is not your responsibility and it's not your problem. And I'm really sorry if this, like, I'm really sorry this person ghosted you. This is, I don't like this energy that's coming out. Because honestly, like, I see you as kind of like this like bouncy, bubbly, like, you know, shit's happened to you, but you're just like, you roll with the punches, you get up, you keep going, and I don't like that this person treated you that way. Like, I don't think that, like, it was fair for them to take their brokenness out on you. So I'm really sorry. Okay, Spirit, what advice can you give my beautiful file cuties? It's interesting, this moonflower came out in pile 2, I believe. Oh, okay, you got 2. You got lots. I love it. Okay, full moon, harvest the fruits of your hard work. Okay, both of these cards came out in pile 2. And I shuffled. Sign, if you were looking for a sign, here it is. And love and mother yourself. Okay. Spirit wants you to know that, like, you have been working hard and it is not going unnoticed. Not only by them, but by the people around you. And it may feel like you're kind of like working in the darkness right now and your path is blocked or it's lost and you don't really know what's going on. Like, you're going to come out of this storm and things are going to start to become much, much clearer. And this is your sign to know that you're not going to feel like this forever. You're not going to be sad forever. You're not going to be upset forever. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that your life has shifted. And you're going to realize that you're a different person. You've transformed. And this is going to be kind of like a blip in the rearview mirror. Like, I see you like moving on to the future. We have the card Sarah's Love and Mother Yourself. And that figure's back is turned. We have this butterfly and then we have a figure with its back turned. And I feel like that's like her with a baby moving on from a hard situation and really kind of focusing on inward and focusing on the future and the good things that are going to happen. I think that you're a really hard worker and you're really setting the foundation for something really amazing in your future. I think that's really what... And just a reminder, honestly, just give yourself love right now. Like, be patient with yourself. You're going through a transformation. These are not easy connections, especially if it's if it's a spiritual connection where there's a lot of energy mirrored. It is extremely hard and extremely traumatizing. And you're gonna get through it. You're fucking strong. So that's all I have for you. Spirit's really proud of you. And I'm proud of you. And we both love you. I feel like, I don't know, like I'm seeing like golden retriever puppies in a little puppy pile. Like I feel like there's just like a love fest going on. But this is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, but honestly, like you're gonna be great. And I think you're far on that path already. If this reading resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. Those really help me grow my channel. Above all, keep your little heart safe, and hopefully I will see you again in another reading. Okay, bye.